On this week's episode, we're going to address down payment assistance. We're going to get into the what, who, why, when, and where. And after this episode, you'll have a better understanding of how to use down payment assistance and if it's for you. How are you doing today, Michaela?
I am doing good. How are you doing?
I can't complain. I'm excited about the show. I appreciate you coming through and excited to have you.
Of course.
Without further ado, let's get into it. Why don't you give the audience a definition of what a down payment assistance is, if you don't mind?
No, I don't. So, down payment assistance is basically a special program that is a helping hand from any organization or government that helps people who want to buy a house, but they may not have enough money saved up to help them along the way.
And that might seem basic and rudimentary. We see folks have a lot of confusion as to what down payment is. One of the biggest things that I see is that anytime a realtor or even a customer comes to us and talks about down payment assistance, they have like a cloak of shame, like it's for folks that are less than. What say you about that?
I definitely don't think that. I think if you could take advantage of a down payment assistance program, you should. That's what it's out there for. It's out there to help you.
Got you. And folks shouldn't feel any kind of way. And and we in the industry have to do a lot more education for realtors and our potential sellers because this is a solution to some of the problems that we're seeing today. Let's get into the who. Who should be considering down payment assistance?
I think down payment assistance is perfect for any first time home buyers, uh, any move up home buyers, anyone in the category where they may have the down payment and closing costs, or
Mhm.
if you just have enough monies for the down payment, I think they'd be perfect candidates for a down payment assistance program.
Why do you think first time home buyers should utilize down payment assistance?
For first time home buyers, you're new and you're unseasoned when it comes to owning and going through the home buying process. And a lot of times, you may not have as much liquidity or as much monies as somebody who has already owned a home. So, if you have enough to start you off and you need something to bridge you over the gap, such as a down payment assistance program, I think you should go ahead and take advantage of that.
I agree. Everybody seems to be challenged with liquidity or monies, right? Life is
Mhm.
happening, things are getting more expensive, as well as the homes. As we have seen over the last 3 or 4 years, regardless of what folks may have wanted to happen or hoped to have happen, home prices have continued to increase. This is another reason why first time home buyers, the who, should look to use down payment assistance because it could get you in today opposed to waiting till tomorrow and you can lock in lower prices.
Yes, I totally agree.
Before we go there, let me ask you this. What's the definition for first time home buyer?
A first time home buyer is anybody who has had ownership property, ownership interest in a property within the most recent 3 years. If you've owned a home and it's been 3 years or more since you've owned that home, you would be considered a first time home buyer.
And if you have had ownership interest within those 3 years, then you're not. So you would
Right.
be considered a move up home buyer. And a lot of folks don't realize that there's a lot of down payment assistance programs that will allow move up or not first time home buyers to utilize, right?
Right.
Here's the deal with down payment assistance. You need to be someone that is going to live in the home minimum 3 years or minimum for the amount of time that the program will call you to be there so that you don't have to pay those monies back. Down payment assistance and these programs are really designed for, I like to call them salt of the earth type people, people that otherwise would not have the ability to buy, or it's going to take them 5, 10 years to save up those monies. This assistance allows them to get into that. So if you're someone that's looking at a backdoor investment play, this really potentially is not for you. It's for folks that are going to live in the home and they're going to be there. They're going to raise their family, so on and so forth. You got anything you want to add on that, Michaela?
No, I think we hit them all. I think we're
Oh,
good.
what's the next direction we want to go in?
We're gonna go or move into the why you should use a down payment assistance program and how it could be beneficial to you.
Okay. Why should someone use a down payment assistance in your opinion?
I think the most obvious reason somebody would use or need assistance is if they were short those funds. Uh, when it comes to buying a home, seller concessions or seller monies aren't guaranteed.
Mhm.
And sometimes a borrower or a person may not be able to come up with that huge lump sum to bridge the gap. And that's when a down payment assistance program would come in.
One thing I want to add to that, guys, is this. Uh, Keep in mind, it's assistance. That's the key word in the phrase down payment assistance. And whenever you don't have all of the monies that you might need, you have to understand that it's very important to partner with the right team. And in this regard, the realtor. And that's something that we can help them find. But the realtor is very important when you're short and the assistance doesn't cover what you need because the sellers are going to have to contribute. And that's something that your realtor is going to have to negotiate. But what I want you to know is this: no one has to give you a seller concession. If that's you and you've worked with your lender, the one that you know and trust, and we've come up with a plan of action that says, hey, even with the down payment assistance, you might be 1 to 3% short. You have to have patience because it might take you a little longer to find the right deal where the sellers are willing to contribute. Right?
Yes, good advice.
What's another reason why someone might want to use a down payment assistance?
You may want to utilize OPM or otherwise known as other people's money.
Uh,
Um, and I think that would go more to move up home buyers. If, say, you already have a property and you may want to rent it out, or you may not be ready to get rid of that residence just yet. You can look into a down payment assistance program to help you with those monies up front since you're not getting that lump sum from the property that you already own.
Another
Hmm.
excellent reason to use a down payment assistance. And I don't think a lot of people realize that you don't have to be a first time home buyer. That's a very good point. How about increasing your purchasing power? Let me explain. Let's say you're that move up home buyer, has a home, you don't want to sell. You need some extra assistance to get you in. Typically, with move up home buyers, you're moving up. So that might get you over the hump to deal with those additional monies with down payment that you may be short of because you didn't tap into the equity of the home. Excellent reasons for the why someone might consider down payment assistance. I also think that there's a win, right? There's a time and a season for everything, right? I don't want to start preaching
Yeah.
under the sun, according to the scriptures. So, what say you, Michaela? When should those of the people that we're talking to out there, when should they consider using a down payment assistance program?
Saving money can be time consuming, just depending upon the job that you have and the income that you make. Say you need $10,000 for down payment and closing costs. It may take
Uh-huh.
you a while to save up that $10,000. It may take you 2 years, as opposed to if you could come up with $5,000 and use the down payment assistance program to help you with the other 5, you can get in the house now as opposed to waiting later. And when buying a home, no, you don't want to rush the process because it's such a large purchase, but I think stressing the fact that it's a sense of urgency with becoming a homeowner and getting the right people into houses, getting in now rather than later can be good because there are a lot of unknown factors that go into buying a house.
Another one too that just popped to mind that we deal with a lot is the funds, sourcing funds. That is a huge reason to use a down payment assistance if you're someone that has a lot of cash moving around. We just had a deal that closed. It was a nightmare. And it's not that the client was doing anything wrong, but they're in the market. They're moving money here. They're moving, and you guys don't realize that you have to source and document those things. So if you could get those funds from a down payment assistance, that might remedy an issue that you may be having because you can't source and or season where cash comes from.
I completely agree. You hit a point that I wasn't even thinking about, but it's very important and we run into it every day.
Unfortunately. And that's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
We want to educate people because you don't know what you don't know. And that's another thing. You're not supposed to know these things. We're the professionals, and we want to come on and bring timely information, pertinent information to help you with what I consider professionally to be one of the largest purchases or the largest financial transactions most people will make in their adult lives, and that's buying a home. And it's very nuanced, and there's a ton of steps involved. Before we get ready to wrap this episode up, Michaela, you mentioned it in the what down payment assistance is, but let's slow down a little bit and give some folks the where they can look into different down payment assistance options.
Okay. Down payment assistance can be found on three main levels. You have local, you have state, and then you have nationwide. So your nationwide programs are going to be your government programs. Your state down payment assistance programs, those may be nonprofits or may come from lenders and banks in your area in cities and things like that. And then you also have local housing agencies. So if you're in Dallas, Texas, you could look up Dallas, Texas down payment assistance programs and you should be able to find something.
Yeah. Google, Bing, Firefox, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, all of those browsers are your friend. Again, you're in the age of information. And so you can save a lot of time and educate yourself to the point where at least you know what's on the radar. And then when you approach a lender, you're able to juxtapose who you may want to deal with based upon their knowledge, right? But I love what you said. What I'll add to that is this: the most money you'll ever get in form of a down payment assistance, either in a secured second that has a time to it before it's forgiven, to an equity share position, to a grant. The most monies that you're going to realize as a potential home buyer is on the local level. Okay. Now, with that local level, you're also going to realize the most hurdles and hoops you have to jump through. Most importantly, the income limits are lower because you have to realize these programs are designed for people who might not otherwise have the opportunity. So on the local level, AMI, I'm going to give a bonus. Area median income is very important. And a lot of these programs are based on area median income to help those who are less fortunate. So you'll get the most help on the local level if you qualify. We'll say it that way. Then from there, you want to go to your state level. All right. That's where you have a lot of house financing agencies that you just mentioned. And on that state level, it's going to open up the umbrella, if you will. It's broader. More people could get in. A couple of more options. The income is higher. And then on the national
Mhm.
level, I would say the lenders, we've heard whenever Wells Fargo and some of these folks get in trouble, they
Mhm.
have CRAs, Community Reinvestment Act type initiatives that they have to implement. And but if you notice, a lot of those type programs are in areas that need a lot of help, where there was a wrong done and
Yes.
they're trying to right the wrong. So this is a episode that's chock full. And what we try to do is we try to always answer the 5 questions, right? What, who, why, when, and where. What, who, why, when, and where, as far as down payment assistance is concerned. So if we went through quickly, rewind, go back, listen. More importantly, if you want to go deeper into your situation, check out the link in the description, schedule a consultation, and we can do that on a one-by-one basis because there's nuance to everyone's situation. But as we get ready to wrap up this show, we talked about the what as it pertains to down payment assistance, what it really is, and the spirit of it, who should use down payment assistance programs, why you should use one or consider them, when you should use those programs, and then where you can find those programs to make sure or to further educate yourself before you reach out to your lender to see if you qualify. So with that, I'll let you have the last words and then we'll go ahead and let the people go.
I just want to say to all of my future home buyers out there, don't be discouraged. As a 20-year-old aspiring to be a home buyer, sometimes I get discouraged with talk about the market and home prices going up and interest rates going up. And it's the market is looking shaky, but it's down payment programs like this and experts out here that give me hope that one day I'll be able to own a home. And I don't want you guys to be discouraged and feeling hopeless because these programs and people are out here to help you as well.
Our time is up, but we thank you for yours. As we always say, Michaela, let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. And until the next time, peace. Y'all be blessed.